Hey friends, I'm Mary. Welcome back to Meander Mindfully. So people are always asking me how I can afford to travel. I don't make a ton of money and I don't want to go into debt for my travel. So basically my approach is just to keep expenses low. And one of the best ways I've found to do that is through house sitting. I feel like house sitting is kind of an overlooked opportunity, but it does come with its own drawbacks. So I thought that today we could go through the pros and cons of house sitting as a travel hack. Perk number one, definitely the biggest one for me, is how much money you can save on accommodations. Even if you're using a site like Trusted House Sitters, where you're not actually getting paid to house sit, you will still save a ton of money on accommodations. And this can allow you to have more money freed up for extending your trip or for purchasing really cool, unique experiences that you might not be able to afford otherwise. Perk number two for me is living like a local. So when you are staying in a house or an apartment versus a hotel, you really get to experience the community on a different level. You are shopping at local markets, you are going out to eat at the places that locals visit typically, and you're just getting a better feel for the real day-to-day of the city. Often the pace of your travel is a little slower too, so you really don't feel the pressure to do all your sightseeing in a couple of days, and you can kind of take your time and really experience the area to the fullest. Perk number three, home sweet home. While moving from hotel to hotel and eating out every night can be really fun and exciting at first, it tends to get old quickly. So it is wonderful to be able to have a real house that you can go back to at the end of the day, that you can cook your meals in and have a full kitchen, that you can just have a comfortable place to relax and unwind. Perk number four, of course, is the furry friends that you'll meet. So when we talk about house sitting, it's generally not just house sitting or taking care of someone's home while they're away. It's more often pet sitting, where you're also taking care of their pets. And what better way to enjoy a trip than to have a cuddly cat or a playful puppy waiting for you at home? So those are the pros of house sitting, but before you run out and book your first house sitting gig, let's also talk about the cons. Okay, drawback number one, or at least something to be aware of, is the responsibilities and commitments that you're making. So while house sitting can be a great adventure, you are also taking on some serious responsibilities. You'll be entrusted with someone's home and you'll need to be taking care of it as if it was your own. And before you agree to a house sit, it's really important that you and the homeowner are on the same page about what your responsibilities will be. Now, of course, you can assume that you'll be taking care of the animals, but what other responsibilities is the homeowner expecting you to do? Are they wanting you to take care of the lawn, mow the lawn, water the garden while they're away? There could be additional responsibilities that you're not aware of, and you don't want any surprises. So make sure that you know all of your responsibilities prior to making that commitment. The second thing to be aware of is the lack of flexibility. Now, most homeowners have specific dates that they're looking for a house sitter. And so your schedule has to be in alignment with theirs. And it can be tricky to find a house sitting opportunity that lines up exactly with the dates that you want to choose also. And when you do find that house sit that lines up with your dates, there's no guarantee that you're going to be selected as the house sitter. Some house sits, especially in really desirable locations, are very competitive, and there will be a bunch of house sitters all applying for the same gig. It's important that you have a really solid house sitting profile that makes you more appealing to the homeowners. So if you want tips on that, let me know. I can do a video about the things that you can do to strengthen your profile. The next thing to know is that there are going to be some stressful situations, whether it's just some minor appliance breaking or it is a true emergency. Something is bound to happen eventually, and you want to be prepared. So of course, worst case scenario is a dog or a cat getting injured or sick on your watch. I recently did a house sit where the dog got sprayed by a skunk, and I was outside at 10 o'clock at night giving him a bath. So there is always going to be something that comes up if you do this long enough. While you can't plan for every contingency, you do want to be prepared. So it's helpful to have a local emergency contact and the number of the homeowner's regular vet in case something does come up. The next thing to be aware of is that you and the homeowner might have different expectations about just day-to-day living. You remember that you are dropping into their home, and the goal is to create as seamless of an experience for the pet as possible. You might have different standards of cleanliness, for example. If you're a neat freak and the house is a little more lived in, are you going to be okay with that? I will say that almost all of the house sits I've done have been in very nice, comfortable houses, and that hasn't been a big issue for me. You might also have different expectations around pet behavior. Maybe they're higher energy than you're used to, or maybe the rules of the house are different and they're allowed to get on the furniture and sleep on the bed, and you aren't really comfortable with that. Oftentimes, when you're arranging a long distance house sit, it's impossible to do a meet and greet before accepting the job. But I would recommend doing a video chat so that you and the homeowner can have a discussion around those things, rules, expectations. And I actually have a list of questions that I go down with the homeowner. So if you're interested in that, let me know and I can do a video about that as well. All right, now here's the last drawback. And in my mind, it's actually the biggest one, and that is staying in. You need to be able to accommodate a pet's schedule. And there can be a wide range of schedules, from just a chill cat who needs a little attention and food and just needs you to be back at the end of the day, to a puppy who has to go outside every 30 minutes. Regardless, you won't be going on any overnight adventures, and you will have to schedule your exploring around the needs of the pet. So make sure to have a frank discussion with the homeowner about how long they're comfortable with the pet being home alone and the pet's normal schedule. All in all, you guys, house sitting can be such a great experience, such a fantastic way to save money while traveling and really get to experience the area like a local, as well as to have a comfortable home and pets while you're on a trip. But it also comes with some drawbacks that you need to be aware of. So if you've got any house sitting questions or tips that you'd like to share, I'd love to hear them. So put them in the comments below, and thanks for watching.